Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Psychology Point. Today I am going to discuss with you an important test which is conducted in many schools, that is SCAT. SCAT. What is a SCAT? Sinha's Comprehensive Anxiety Test. These days your practical examinations are going on, so I thought that its discussion is going to help you a lot. I would be sharing with you the writing material also of this test. So let's start discussing first the writing part, and also side by side I will tell you the questions for viva related to this test. So first of all, whenever you are writing the test in your notebook, the first thing that you will be writing is the aim. So what is the aim of Sinha's Comprehensive Anxiety Test? It is to assess the level of anxiety of the subject using Sinha's Comprehensive Anxiety Test by A.K.P. Sinha and L.N.K. Sinha. A bit of very first question which the examiner asks is, who has developed this test? Okay, so that should be very much clearer, otherwise it gives a bad impression that the child has administered the test and he even doesn't know who has developed this test. Okay students, now let us see what you will be writing in the introduction part. You all can take the screenshot for your practical work for the writing part. See, firstly, you have to write the basic concept related to any test which you are doing. Just now we will be talking about SCAT. In that, since this test is related to anxiety, so you will be writing about anxiety first. What is anxiety? And that would be your question also for the viva. So anxiety is vague, objectless fear, uneasy feeling, apprehensive feelings, and then the next question could be, and also in the writing part you will be mentioning, that is the symptoms of anxiety. Yes, so now let's discuss some of the symptoms which you will be writing in your exam, as well as the examiner might ask you what are the symptoms of anxiety, like increase in the heart rate, drying up of mouth, muscular tension, rapid breathing. All these are physiological symptoms. Then certain behavioral symptoms also, like lack of interest, and then lack of concentration, that could be your cognitive symptoms. So you can mention all those symptoms. Then the next thing that you can mention in your introduction, that is three kinds or the types of anxiety. Now you must have studied before that there are three types of anxieties. State anxiety, anxiety which is related to the situation. Okay, when that situation finishes, that anxiety phase goes away. Okay, see, for writing part you can write state anxiety. It describes the experience of unpleasant feelings when confronted with the specific situation, demands of or a particular object or events. Okay, now why does this situational anxiety arises? That is a question. So the person, why? Because the person is making the mental assessment of some type of threat which is going to approach him. That is why this state anxiety occurs. Okay, then you can also discuss in your answer booklet in the introduction about the trait anxiety, and it could be asked to you by the examiner. Next, trait anxiety, if I discuss with you just now, it arises in response to the perceived threat but it differs in intensity. Okay, in intensity, duration, and the range of the situation, it is differing. Okay, what happened? The people with high level of anxiety, trait anxiety, they experience more intense degree of state anxiety to specific situations. This is, they are giving you description, means you can write this also. What is the difference between, the question could be this also, what is the difference between state anxiety and the trait anxiety? This can be covered with this. People with high level of trait anxiety experience more intense degrees of state anxiety to specific situations, and then the most do not and experience anxiety to the broader range of situation. Then the third type of anxiety is somatic anxiety. See, it is the physical symptoms of the anxiety, like butterflies in your stomach. Okay, now, but it is also, you could be asked what is the cognitive anxiety, what is the difference between somatic anxiety and cognitive anxiety. That is why I had prepared this introduction like this, so that all type of questions could be covered in this, which your examiner could ask you. Okay, now here you could tell him that cognitive anxiety, which is the mental manifestation of anxiety or the specific thought process that occur during anxiety. Okay, now where does this anxiety manifest itself? Okay, anxiety could be related to your health, ambition, maybe you are very ambitious, that is creating anxiety, social relationship, future, family, anything. It could be anything. So, there are number of factors, and as you must also be knowing that optimum level of anxiety is very much essential. Yes, friends, now let us discuss what are the approaches to study anxiety. Different psychologists have given their perspective about anxiety. First, psychodynamic approach, which was given by Freud, talks about neurotic anxiety, okay, which according to Freud is the result of the conflict between id, ego and superego. Yes, children, you can mention the approaches also in the introduction part. Make your introduction be, inclusive of all the points related to the concept which you are explaining, so that you don't have to go here and there for viva questions. Once you prepare the introduction, your viva is automatically prepared related to that particular concept. Of course, for other chapters which your examiner would be asking, that also he can ask, but at least for the test which you are administering, you should know everything about it, so that he feels no hesitation to give you full marks. Okay, then for Freud, the structure of personality according to Freud is id, ego and superego. When the conflict arises among in between id, ego or superego, then a person experiences anxiety according to Freud. Then a new psychoanalyst, that is Miss Horney, has talked about basic anxiety, and in that that she was very against the Freud about his perspective on ladies. According to her, basic anxiety could result from variety of things. It's not only the gender differences which create the things. it could be, indifference, erratic behavior, or lack of respect for child's individual needs, hostile atmosphere at home could be responsible for basic anxiety. Then, behavioral approach. This approach believes in the ways in which anxiety becomes associated with observation. Like, maybe the parent of the child is very anxious. Then that's why, when the and means when the interviews for the job or anywhere it is kept, it is seen how confident the person is. Okay, is he um, is he himself showing some symptoms of anxiety, or that it should not, it could be, it could, since anxiety could is associated with observation, that's why, and learning by modeling also. Okay, so somewhere it could be learned through modeling also. Okay, then next is, you should, after the introduction, the next heading in the test which you have to give is history and description. Okay, SCAT was developed, you can write about who has developed this test once again, and then the test consists of the scores, what type of scores it is consisting of, and what type of methods of reliability it is using. You can put in more details, I had not typed much more, like validity also you can mention, methods I had already mentioned in this, that is test retest method and so on. Okay, yes, now after this you have to mention the subjects detail, that you can mention with the heading preliminaries also, name, age, gender, qualification. Okay, place of conduction, of course, psychology lab. Okay, then next heading would be materials required. In this you will mention SCAT manual, SCAT questionnaire form, or inventory word also you can use, pen, pencil, etc. Then you need to mention about the precautions, what type of precautions you will be taking. Optimal conditions for testing were ensured before the test began. Okay, you have to see that the room temperature and everything is okay, then only you will start with the test. The time of the start and the finish were noted. The tester should ensure that the subject is not familiar with the test, okay, and also not familiar with the purpose of the test. Subject should be told that there is no correct answer, should not skip any item. Subject should be assured of confidentiality of the test result. These are the precautions which you need to take. Then report formation, yes, after that you have to, means before you start conducting the test, you have to form a report with your subject. You have to make him calm, okay, comfortable, then only you can start the test. Then after establishing a report, you can give him the instructions, or even, means for writing part you can see what I had written for the instructions. Otherwise, for administration part, you can just tell him that this is the inventory and on this the instructions are already given. You go through it and then you can start the test. Of course, if he has any problem, you can explain him the instructions. Then come over to the administration. After the instructions were given, the subject was asked to fill the details on the inventory. Okay, and subject was asked to check whether he has finished up with all the items or not. Then you will take introspective report or the verbal report, that is, the subject is going to write whether how he found the test. Okay, so introspective report is the report which the subject is submitting, okay, or on conducting the test, whatever he is finding is good about the test, that he is reporting. How he felt while doing the test, that he has to report himself, write a line about it. You can give him the sheet, he'll write the line about it, or he can write on the inventory also. Then behavioral report, the subject was calm. This you have to write, you have to observe him when he is doing the inventory, you have to observe him. Okay, is he calm, is he distracted, is he disturbed? Because sometime what happens, children, the result go opposite. Then you have to prove it with your behavioral report. Yes, the subject was very tired and he didn't answer the question nicely. Okay, then scoring for this test, and for the other test it is different. So scoring for this test can be done by hand. For any response which is indicated yes, a score of 1 will be given, and for no, 0 score will be given, and then all the yes will be counted and this will become the total score. Then in the interpretation part, he can write that you can write the aim of administering the SCAT was to assess the level of anxiety of the subject. Okay, my subject scored the total of whatever, say means if it was 20, then you can check in the manual whether it is high or low, and that you can fill in the blanks. And then raw score of my subject is this. Therefore, he has either extreme anxiety or low anxiety. And of course, in this I had missed. In that you can also write, if it is high, you have to write he requires some counseling. If it is low, then also he requires some counseling. If it is high, he might turn up to some meditative exercises. Okay, so according to your result, you have to write your interpretation and conclusion. And in the last, you can mention references from where you write all this. Yes, children, we usually use the manual for the introduction, and of course NCERT book also you can mention. Okay, I hope this video would really help you, and please do share, like and subscribe my video if you feel it has helped you. Let others also take benefit of this. Thank you, and best of luck for